I'm Dan Galusha. Welcome to another edition of Shootin' Plink. Today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. I got this bag. This is an M48 Ops bug out bag, and I got it from BudK, which a lot of you probably know about that. They're known really for knives and swords and just all sorts of junk. But I got this and I thought, what exactly am I going to do with it? So I decided, you know, this would make a good, not necessarily bug out, but survival bag. And then I got my Henry AR7, the survival rifle, and I thought, you know, that might be a good thing to put in here. They have their own Henry case with this, but wonder if you want a lot more. So I'm going to show you what I did with this, and a lot of it's going to be photos because unpacking this out here is going to be a mess. But I will show you some of it and how I've worked it out and how it's all been strapped in and what have you. First thing I know, though, right away, is somebody is going to ask, because it's already been asked, how much does this thing weigh? Well, after you see, you probably definitely ask. It weighs somewhere between 24 and 30 pounds, depending on how much you put in it. And, I mean, you could go lighter if you wanted or whatever, but I'm going to show you some options on different things, such as the Henry AR7. And let's just get started with the outside of the bag. First off, let's turn this around, and it's got kind of another handle down below here, and I'll show you that when I turn it around. It's right here. I've got a one knife over here. This is a Second Amendment last stand knife. Over here, or sorry, this one over here is the Black Legion. I gotta stop and think of the names of these. Phantom. This one over here, which I have, is the Second Amendment knife. Now you'll notice I got those strapped in with this. It's holding here and it's holding down here on this strap. You do have to release that to get to this, and we'll be talking about that in a little bit because I want to show you the rest of the stuff. One of the things that you really almost can't have enough of are these carabiners like this, and I've got this fastened to another thing that can be used. This is kind of just a cure-all. And might as well talk about compass right now. This got a little cheap compass on it. If you got cheap compasses, make sure you definitely have more than one and make sure that it works. Now right here I'm looking at it, and yeah, it's working. It's pointing north, and that's north over here. But these carabiners, I was talking to you about that. Make sure that you have right here the screw type, the ones that will screw down and screw down easy. And you can see how quick I can do that. I can just do it like that. The reason being is when you have this where it locks in, if that doesn't screw down, it's not going to lock good. You want it so that it locks down after you connect it, so that it don't flip open and lose something. This right here is a quick multi-tool that I've just clipped onto here. It's a small one. It's one that, like I said, it's a quick one. I've got another one inside of here which is a lot better. It's a Gerber. But again, we're talking about what's on the outside right now. Up here, I've got another little fastener if you want it. This is on the straps, and this has got some very good straps and a lot of support to them. You've got your chest strap here. This is so like if you want to clip a water bottle in and you're carrying that. And again, you've got a strap down here too, which is a waist strap. And that's always good. Now we'll go back here, and I'll show you another knife I've got, which is right here. And this one is one that you can pull out, and then you want to get it open quick, you can. And that's really important in a survival type kit like this, to have something that you can one-hand it both ways. You can either do it, like I said, like I did like that, or you can take it down like this. So it's a one-handed knife, which is good. We'll put that in there later. Now, inside here, and we're going to start on some of the inside, and this handle, by the way, that's on the bottom here, this extra handle, that is part of the strap that straps these bags down here, and I'll be talking about those too. So let's get started for the inside. Well, in order to get in there, you've got two straps here, and these straps go to these. So you really got a lot of support here. That's why I put this strap around here to give it even more support from the bottom up to here. But you got to unclip these in order to get into it. Now in here, and I'm not going to tear all this out, you want to make sure that these zippers, you have a flap, you have a storm flap. Make sure the storm flap's over. It doesn't make any difference if you're just keeping it in the vehicle, but if you have to take it out of the vehicle, yeah. And I'll show you here right now. I was just talking about those knives. You take this, you unzip it down. Once you get to here, you have to disconnect that knife. So you push it over like this, take it like that, and now it's disconnected. Then you can get it this, and you can get it up here. What is inside of this, and I'll show you photos on some of this, like I said. There's spare underwear, sweatshirt, jeans, and the Henry rifle that is in here, which I'll also show you there. It's just the butt stock, as you know, and it's got magazines inside, and it's got all of that stuff. And like I said, you're going to be looking at a photo here on that. Then down here in that spot where I took that other knife out, there's more spare magazines in there for this. So this is a 22 LR, which you may already know. And we've done a video on the gun itself, but I've got 5 more magazines in here, and there's 3 up here inside of that butt stock. Now, while we're talking about that gun, before we get to this back part, and I'm going to zip this up because I'm going to be unzipping the other one then. And as I said, while we're talking about that gun, that can be substituted if you want. And you can also carry extra rounds of ammunition, because with 22 you can carry quite a few rounds, but if you want to just throw a couple of boxes in, like 50 rounds, that's good, because you've already got that many in with this one. And as I said, we're going to be talking about extra guns here, and then I'll get into more on that. But say you decide you don't want that in there, you can use a gun like this Ruger. This is a PC carbine, and you say, how on earth does that fit in there? Well, if you've watched the review before, you know that this all comes apart. This is what they call a teardown. This barrel comes off, goes down here, and that will fit in there just like the Henry's fitting in there. The drawback on this is the fact that it is 2-piece like that, so you're going to take up a little bit more room than you are with this Henry. It has, like I said, 9mm, so you can carry some extra ammo. You can carry about 100 rounds extra of ammo. And that's what we're going to get into right now on the other guns that you can put in here. This is a 9mm, as I said. It will use different magazines, and it will use the same magazine. I'll put this down. It will use the same magazine as my Ruger Security9. Now, you can carry this pistol in a couple of ways. You can carry it on you, just like I had here, or you can put it in a bag. It will go, but it'll take up just a little bit more room. Again, the magazines are the same, so you carry spare magazines, it will go for both of them. That is a plus on that. Now, another gun that you can carry, and this will go into this bag very easy, is this little one right here. Now, that is a Ruger. It's an LCPII 22, a light rack as they call it. That is excellent for here. And say on ammunition, you can carry more magazines. They will not fit. These magazines will not fit that Henry, so you're going to have different ones. But that extra ammo I told you about, what you want to do is take the, and I'll show you here because I got extra magazines for this too in one of the pockets here. And you've seen this before because we did do a video with this on this. That right there, see that silver bullet? That is a Federal Premium Punch. It's a self-defense ammunition, and I found that this stuff has worked very, very well. We're going to be doing another video. We're going to fire it out of several guns and see if it cycles just as well, because every round has cycled on this. I've heard that it's like a 99% cycling, and so far I believe that. And this gun has had some problems with ammo in the past, but it sure didn't with this. It shot it very, very nice. And so that's what I'd suggest if you do that, is to take like this self-defense and also load that into that Henry. We'll put that back in there. But as you can see, it's a very small gun. It can fit into any of these compartments. We have no problem at all. The only ones it won't fit into is like this small one down here where I got my magazines. Now we're going to get into the other compartment. Oh, and before I do that, I'll show you this, I hope. If you want, and I got to get this holster off. Here we go. Okay, it's a paddle type holster. You can take it, and we're going to have to strap that knife down again. Put that right there. And this will show you how you do this too. You just pull it in, push that over like that so that you got your connector. Put it in, and she's ready to go. Now, as I said, with this paddle, what you can do, and what I've done, is taken this, pushed it over like this. You've got this here, and this paddle will fit right down into there. You got to push it around, and it'll fit in just like that. So now you can carry your gun right there, and you can see you can draw it very easily, and that'll set right there. Now let's get to the other parts of this pack. You know, one of the things that you might need in an emergency, especially if you're an ice fisherman and you've got this bag up in the vehicle maybe, and somebody's struggling, run up there and grab a rope, and this thing will fit a rope into here nicely. And sometimes you need a towel. Okay, I've got an old towel in here, and also I've got a nylon jacket, and this is a good jacket. This is one of these blast jackets. This one was given to us by the Scott County Conservation Department, and there is 30 foot of rope in here, and it all folds down in. You can see it right there. I've also got some towelette things that are bigger washcloths down in here that are all rolled up and sealed up, and that works well. So we'll stick this back in here, and you can see, like I said, that's why I'm not taking all this stuff out, because it does take a little bit to stuff it in here. And we don't want to take all that time, because I want to take enough time just showing you and telling you what we got in here. Now, as you see, you zip this up. Make sure you got this pulled up like this. Push it in. I'm doing this because I want to show you what you need to do. You got those up there like that. Make sure that storm flap in here, I'll show you right here. Make sure that storm flap is down over the top of those zipper areas. Otherwise, it could leak a little bit of water. Now, let's go to this compartment over here. This compartment over here, what I have got in it are fire starters and some of these saws. And oh, by the way, up here in this compartment, I forgot to mention, we have got a cold steel Recon Hawk, which is an axe with a point on the end of it. And we've also got a complete Gerber kit in here that's a survival kit that's got a folding shovel, a folding saw, and you've seen this in the photo already as to what is in here, and I didn't mention it. And it has, well, the flashlight, I took that out because we got another flashlight down in here. And it didn't need that one. It's also got that multi-tool I had mentioned. So that's a complete deal. I'm glad I thought of that with that saw, because it's a folding saw. But in here are these wire type saws where you got 2 rings on them. You put that in like that, and it's got everything in there on fire starters, including one that's called Nature's Fire. I don't even know if you can find those anymore. I was at an outdoor writers convention, several years ago in Minnesota, and they had the gentleman that owned that company there, and he was not in good health later, I know. And I have never heard another thing about it, but if you ever see those, they are excellent fire starters, and a lot of different types of them that he had. So now let's get over to the other compartment. And it's actually cold enough that this thing's freezing to the stump that I got it on. Okay, we got our ops over here. What we've got over here is our first aid kit. And the first aid kit, and even some of the fire starter stuff, and this I will show you. You see a photo right now of that too. In here, this kit is one like this, and it's all waterproof. It's got a water seal around it, so that's where you want to put your medical stuff. And inside of that medical deal, some of these that you see, they're terrible. I mean, they don't have anything in there that would really help you. So what you want is good scissors, some antibiotic ointment, without a doubt. The butterfly stitches that you have that you can put over, those are definitely important. Also some surgical thread and a very, very sharp needle. That's a big emergency. If you have something where you're totally slit open, and a tourniquet. Get a good one hand if you can, the military style tourniquets, and have that. And that you might have to put somewhere else if it won't fit into that bag. But, and you want band-aids, just regular band-aids for it. Some other sort of ointment, the silver, well, you really can't get that without a prescription. There's a silver something or other they call it, and I've got some of it because it did have a prescription. And if you can get your hands on it, that is excellent for healing, especially along with the antibiotic cream. But the antibiotic cream or ointment, actually, the ointment's better. And an eye wash. Also, make sure you have an eye wash. Eye wash is extremely important. Now, let's get to the back areas and what we've got. Back here, and this is the one that goes up here, of course, like I said before, and we're going to unfasten that because I'm going to have to fasten the back a little bit later. Down here, you've got these areas. You've got two different ones. Over here, that's those magazines I talked about. And then over here, and we'll unzip that, I've got paracord. Just regular old paracord. I don't know if you can see that or not. But that's extra paracord, and the reason that is in there, well, is because you just never know where you need something like that. Maybe to tie on, maybe to tie onto this bag. You got plenty of these loops and everything all around. Up here in the front, you've got a couple of different compartments underneath this other handle. This one right here, we've got a lot of different things that we can put in here, but here's something that you might not think of. That right there is a solar charger, and I'll unfold that and show you. It's got its own solar panels. See it? Okay, that will charge up, and why would you want that? Well, several reasons. For one, you got your cell phone, which you may also have in here, and you charge it up with that. It's also got another light on here if you need that light, but there's a rechargeable light, several different types they have, but this one right here, this little loop, which you can hang anywhere, is actually a USB cable. That will plug in here and it will recharge. This has got 3 different settings on it. So you can set that out, recharge it if you need, and you got yourself a good light. And it is. It's a very good light. I can't show you out here how to light up, but it is. And that goes, like I said, right down in there. No problem. And inside of there too, I've also got a regular flashlight. So I know where my lights are. And that, like I said, that'll work for your cell phone too. While I'm thinking of that, and I don't have any out here, there's a thing that Plano has out that is a storage type bag. It's called a stowall, and it's a very, very heavy plastic. It's got a waterproof seal on top, and those are excellent to have with you because, again, talking about cell phones, you can throw that right in there and it will keep it waterproof if you want. And they come in different sizes. There's a 36 and a 3700. The 3700 is nice for size, but the 3600 actually is probably going to work a little bit better because it's a little smaller if you're going to be sliding it in here. Now, up front, this is your quick access stuff, your little bitty one, your little compartment down there right in the front. You can see that. It's right down in here. This thing has got whatever you're wanting to get at quickly, but unless you can't find the zipper, there. And what I can put in here is, like I said, things you want to get at quickly, but food. It's something you want with you, you know, in any sort of a bag like that, that you'd be going out, maybe you're going to get caught in a blizzard, and what you do is something like these granola bars, or you have energy bars, high energy bars. Those are good too. So you got anything like that. And here's something else that I've got in here. I know you're thinking, what on earth that thing? What this is a survival blanket. It's they call it an emergency blanket. So you got that if you're needing something like that. And whistles. You can't have enough whistles. I know you're thinking, whistles? Why? This whistle is a well, a signal whistle. You got a couple of things here, really. You got this and the orange, which they can't see this one very well. So you're going to talk about orange, and we're going to go back to the big one here. I'm going to talk about that since I said orange. But you got stuff like that that you want to get at quickly. I just said you want to talk about something orange. This inside of here's got a foldable bucket, and you've seen it in that photo there. In fact, I'll show you the photo again so that you know what I've been talking about. The other stuff that's up in here besides the clothing and the gun is it's a foldable bucket that has got bright reddish orange, and that's put out, actually those are given out by different conservation departments and also U.S. Coast Guard. And I got one of those, and it will carry water, or you can use it as a bailing device if you're in your boat, because you can throw this thing into a boat too. This would be ideal to take with you, like if you're portaging somewhere and you got a kayak or what have you, and you're going way back in the boomies. Of course, you got all your fishing tackle and such too, so hopefully you got another buddy, because this thing's going to be heavy for just one person to have on them. But anyway, that is a quick breakdown of what I have in my M48 Ops bug out bag, survival bag, whichever you want to call it. And you can do whatever you want. You can make it lighter, you can make it, but it's a good idea to have something with you like this, especially if you know you're going to be going into an area way out somewhere and you might get caught in a blizzard. We're talking about North Country, of course, or other sorts of storms or whatever. If you get shut down and you don't have anything out there, and your vehicle may just go poof on you for some reason, and you're out in the middle of nowhere. Well, you've got some stuff here that you got signaling devices, because there's also a signaling mirror over here in this compartment. I got to think of no, it's actually in this compartment. Now that shows you. Remember what's in your compartments. But I had the bag reversed there. So, you know, this is just an idea for you what to do with a survival bug out bag. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.